welcome. We're excited you're here. We really wanted to we've been doing these live at lunches, every so often. We've done it with the sheriff, we've done it with dispatch, and this time we are over here in corrections. We are actively recruiting for correctional deputies. We wanted to give you an opportunity to learn a little bit more about the position, what we do here on our corrections side, and also you guys are kind of the unsung heroes. You're inside for 12-hour shifts, and a lot of people don't get to really connect with you, so it's important.
Yeah, it is. And my role currently is the staffing lieutenant for the Corrections Bureau, so it really hits home for me, and it's really important. It's law enforcement, and at times it is forgotten. So this is important, getting the relevant information out there, and anybody that's interested, we'll touch on some recruitment stuff going on here pretty soon as we get further into this. So It's exciting.
Yeah, so why don't we just kick it off, Chelsey? Tell me, or Lieutenant Camilli, I guess I should say to be formal. How did you get into working here at Corrections?
So I started with the Sheriff's Office in 2008, and I really knew I wanted to get into law enforcement and all that the Sheriff's Office had to offer, just the wide range of opportunity this agency had, the specialty assignments and out of the area trainings. It was something I was really looking for, and I also wanted to get part of something that I could be proud of and something bigger than just a job. And that's really why I chose the Sheriff's Office. And I've been really blessed with my career. I've got to do a lot of neat things and different opportunities. And it's not just working in the jail is what I really truly want to stress too. There's so many different positions that an officer can do and not just be inside. And we'll touch more on that here in a little bit. But really being proud of what I do is important to me, and seeing that on the new officers that start at such an early time in their career is rewarding too. So I enjoy that.
What are some of the positions that you've held over the years here?
In my time here, I was a swap field officer, and I know a lot of you guys know about that. Our farm out in Fortuna, excellent opportunity and time in my career. You were outside, you worked with the community on such a different level, and made those partnerships with different cities throughout our county, working with the FFA children and having the garden out there that all the produce is coming into the jail, helping feed our inmate population, and just a different, refreshing aspect of this career.
Yeah,
I truly enjoyed that. I've also held a few instructor roles that our agency has for trainings and tools that we offer, so that's really rewarding as well. And a member of the peer support group that we have within our agency that we provide to our staff. That's very beneficial to our officers that work in this somewhat challenging environment at times.
Yeah.
Really enjoy that. And then I do oversee the body camera program for the Corrections Bureau right now.
Very busy.
So very busy, very busy. That's been a true technology that has worked well for us. It's very beneficial and user-friendly for our officers. They seem to enjoy it, and it helps out with a lot of our trainings as well, getting to see firsthand things for improvement and growth, or what we are doing well.
And it keeps everyone accountable, inmates and deputies, so it's really a great program. We've had it for a while now.
Over 2 years. Over 2 years we've had it. Yeah, we are using the Axon Body 3 cameras now, which is an upgrade. And we do work 12-hour shifts, so those cameras really hold up well for that shift work too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know you mentioned SWAP, which is the Sheriff's Work Alternative Program. We did get a question about, what sort of programs are in place for inmates in our facility. And we do have a programs department that works on that. Can you touch on our programs department and some of the opportunities for inmates?
Yeah, absolutely. So with COVID, that did hinder some of that program a little bit, but we are starting to bounce back from that as we, I guess I can say, normalize. Inmates have the opportunity to get their GED. We have a tablet program with over 10,000 hours of trainings and learning opportunities for those individuals in the housing units. They're also able to get their certificates after completing those trainings. And it's such a wide range of information we provide on the tablets. It can be anything from meditation working out, mechanics, math, English, all kinds of stuff. And it's just really a proactive approach for our inmate population, and that works really well. We also have ministry starting to come back in, just a lot of things that keep the population on a positive upward movement, which is nice. And that's nice for the staff too. It's very rewarding to see an individual who can at times come in at a very difficult phase in their life and see that growth when they spend a little bit of time in our facility and re-enter them back into our community with the best resources possible.
Well, and that's the thing is, we are programs-based correctional facility. So we don't believe in just throwing somebody in a cell and saying, okay, serve your time, and expect them to completely change and not return. So being able to have those programs to help with personal growth, prepare them for the outside. We had a career fair, right?
Yep.
A job fair.
But right before COVID, we had the career fair, and that's something we do yearly. We hope to get that back off this year with things kind of normalizing. Another, thing that Samantha brought up was good is that we are a true direct supervision facility. And when I say that, I mean a open dormitory style housing unit, open bunks, one housing deputy, and you'd be amazed at how well it's ran. And that is our proactive approach. I encourage my officers to speak with these inmates. I want to know how they're doing. I want to see changes in behavior, whether it's good or bad, and have the officer have that opportunity to intervene and hopefully have success from that.
Absolutely. And I think, when I first started here, it was kind of like, well, how do you get people to behave, when you have that many inmates to a deputy? But someone explained to me that, well, they want to be in this open environment, so they behave for the most part, so that they're not in place where there's not as many privileges, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that
and social interaction too. That's human nature.
Yeah.
We don't want to confine and have that environment to limit resources. We want a more productive citizen when they're released from our care.
Right.
And that's our goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. So let's kind of just shift back a little bit here because, we are hiring. We have several open positions, no experience required. We'll provide all the training. So, what's the best part of being a correctional deputy? What's your most favorite thing about it?
I think for me is that bond that we have. It's a family team atmosphere that we promote and we provide to our staff. And that's personally for me the best thing that I've got out of this career of 13 years. It's not like any other place that I've worked. We do work 12-hour shifts, so that bond is made so strong, and it's very beneficial to the officer's well-being on and off this career field. And I truly don't think you can get that anywhere else, and that's something that we do things outside of work together. We really enjoy each other's time. We get through the struggles and we reap the rewards together, and it's just a really nice feeling. And it's important to do this career long term and the fulfillment that comes with it.
Absolutely. And I post every now and again on our social media, like, join a family. Sometimes we get those comments like, yeah, right, a family, work's not family. But here, law enforcement's a whole different ballgame. There really is that family aspect because you're spending so much time together. Arguably, you're spending more than half of your life with these people, So,
you could argue that you're spending more time here with your work family than your normal family, but then you develop that bond and you are doing things outside of work. And again, you see the challenges. We go through things together that typically the normal civilian would not.
Right.
And it builds us that much stronger together. And it's so much bigger than the job is our bond that we have. And I think that's why we have the ability to do this career long term for our well-being with each other.
Absolutely. We did get a question about, is this a county jail program? Yes, this is with Humboldt County. Some of our TikTok viewers might not see that. So yes, this is for our county jail. And how many beds do we have here? How many inmates do we accommodate?
422 is what we accommodate. But due to the COVID right now, our numbers are significantly lower than that because of COVID and the things that are coming into custody right now and arrestees that are are being looked at case by case, and everybody is still coming to jail for their crimes. It's just on what is being housed in our facility right now. But with things normalizing, I'd anticipate that we'll start to see the numbers in our facility go back up.
Sure. So, we've been talking about that we're hiring. I keep going back to this.
It's important.
It really is. Your correctional deputies just kind of got a huge win recently in that there's a pay raise happening. Can you talk a little bit about, what the, starting wages, what the pay scale is and all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it really is a win. That's the best way to put it that Samantha did. 24% for our officers is extremely huge, and it's a very challenging job. It's really a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's been hard work by all involved, and people are extremely happy. And with the hiring event, we keep coming back to that. I want to talk more about that.
Should we hold up the flyer?
Yeah, let's hold up the flyer.
I don't know if you're even going to be able to see it, but we do have it on our social media pages, so you can see it there too. But we do have a hiring event coming up. What date is that? March 4th?
March 4th.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the hiring event. And I don't think we touched on the pay scale either, so we'll have to go back to that.
So the hiring event is something we've never done before. We really want to expedite the process to get an individual on board. So this is going to be an all-in-one day event. You're going to have the opportunity, first things first, you're going to take a written exam. Following that will be your oral board exam, and then you're going to meet with the background investigator. This is all in one day, no experience needed. It's really to expedite that process and having that involvement of getting you on board, answering questions right there on the spot. We're going to have 2 times set up that day. So again, that's going to be March 4th. We're going to have one at 8:30 in the morning and then another one at 1 p.m. It's really going to be a great process. We hope to continue this and make it much easier for people, especially out of the area. Anybody that wants to apply out of the area, this is huge. Limits your travel to and from the county and expense that may be costing. So really, really important, and happy that we're doing it. You've got a couple different options here on how you can get the contact information and apply. You've got a QR code on our flyer that you have seen on social media and that's been posted around the county in numerous locations. And then also going to our county website under job opportunities, you'll be able to see that and apply. And again, no experience needed, just a few questions you'll need to ask and fill out your application, and we'll get you in, get you scheduled for that test. And then also on that flyer is my contact information, so any questions, even after this session's done, anything that comes up, please feel free to reach out and speak with me, and we'll talk about and hopefully get your step in law enforcement. So look forward to that. And then a little bit about the pay. So the Correctional Deputy 1 is starting out at $22.08, and then with promotion to Correctional Deputy 2, you will top out around $32 an hour.
Okay. But that's just the base, so you still have benefits.
Correct.
There's hazard pay, which was a recent win as well,
that
right?
That is working inside the correctional setting gains you the hazard pay in this environment. So that is a true win. You've got your uniform allowance, you've got your vacation, you have overtime availability, and we've got the wellness programs for officers, and it's really great opportunity that we have here. Anybody that's wanting to get into law enforcement, I encourage it.
So someone has a question about like opportunities for teenagers or young adults, if there's any Explorer programs. And I know that we don't have our Explorer program, but what would you recommend for a young adult who's watching, who kind of wants to get to know more about it?
Well, definitely a phone call doesn't hurt. There's conversation we can have over phone. We don't have an Explorer program. That's something we can maybe entertain for the future as things start to open up and normalize. Knowing more about corrections, this is a job that you can start at 18 years old. So it's really nice to come in, start that career, and learn those communication skills, because that's what's huge and is really going to be beneficial for you in this career. So definitely a phone call, and we can start talking about things, and maybe start looking at tours and stuff if you're at that age, not 6, 7, or 8, but a little older. Maybe we can talk 15, 16, stuff like that.
And you know, before COVID, we did frequent tours. I know that we've had like a shadow your, you know, aunt, uncle, parent sort of thing that we've done. And
we also did coffee with Corrections, and we hope to get that back off again this year. And that's another opportunity. We've had Boy Scouts come in, Boy Scouts of America come in for tours and have some information about the facility. So.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of information also on our website. A lot of people ask like, what are your qualifications, you know, all of these things, you know, especially with, you know, patrol deputies as well, like what score do I need for the exam and whatnot. And we have all that information on our website. Actually, we within the past year or so, we really built out our recruitment side of our website, so you can have all that information at your fingertips. If you just go to humboldtsheriff.org/join, you'll be able to find it. We have a page about our incentives. Correctional Deputy 2s also have an incentive, right?
Yes, they do. That's a $9,000 lateral hiring bonus. So that is something that was worked on very hard for individuals here that really wanted to get that out, and you know, hopefully aid with some of the retention stuff that we've been going through, and yeah, getting that out there to those that maybe want to move up to this area. We like to showcase our area a lot. We really are in a beautiful area to live. So anybody that wants to relocate, that's something available to them.
Absolutely. So what all does the job entail? You know, what would, you know, say you go through the hiring process, my first day on the job, what am I going to experience?
So you are going to go through a pretty significant training program that is built with multiple FTOs in it. And that's the benefit of it, really, is you get to see different trainers and how they may approach situation. Granted, all the policy and procedure is still the same, but you get that different rapport with each supervisor that you're with for a week at a time. So yes, you will start out on a training program, and that training program, the goal is to make you the most successful individual here and get the most fulfillment out of the job. There's a lot of different things into it. You've got, you know, there is computer work involved here when it comes to booking an individual in our processing area, but nothing's a rush. It's not something that has to be learned overnight by any means. We want you to be successful, smart, and motivated, and it takes time, and we understand that. We want you to be here and enjoy it, but the training program, it can show challenges, but it does show the rewards of a very dynamic work environment that we have here.
Absolutely. And just for someone who had a question, this is Humboldt County in California, not in Texas, Idaho, Nevada. There's several of us out there. So yeah, we're in California here.
Yeah, that lateral bonus is for Humboldt County, California.
Yes. Yes. So check us out over here. And even if you're coming from out of the area, does it apply? Or
yeah, you see, if you're, as long as you're already in the profession, the Correctional Deputy 2, wanting to lateral over, yeah, that bonus applies to you.
Perfect. Okay, that's great. Can you talk to me a little bit about how the booking process works? Because, you know, the normal average citizen thankfully never has to experience that process. So, you know, what do we do? How do we ensure that our inmates and our deputies stay safe?
So in our booking area, we have medical in our facility on site 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Every individual that comes in is assessed by our medical staff and is cleared for booking. Series of questions are asked and vital signs are taken, make sure that that individual is healthy and safe enough to come into our care. From there, it just depends on what the individual is charged with, on whether they're staying in our custody or if they're going to be released with an appropriate court date to appear at our court. And then we've got a sitting area for individuals where they're able to watch TV. They've got a drinking fountain and access to the phones while they're here. And then we have some sobering and temporary holding cells for individuals that may need some distance away from that type of environment. And the officers are present the entire time. They're available for questions or concerns or anything that may come up. And we do make sure that anybody leaving our facility has safe means to do so and have all their resources that they need before they depart, so they can have the information about their arrest.
Sure.
Make sure that's taken care of.
And is there still a bus ticket program?
Yes, there is. So bus tickets are provided to indigent individuals that come in. That's something that we do through the county, through the transit system,
Mm-hmm.
and that seems to work well. It's been really successful, and individuals are grateful for that when they come in, and especially when the weather's not great and they have lack of transportation. So.
Sure. And is there a COVID quarantine process that people who are going to be held longer have to go through?
Yes, so we have a couple units that are dedicated just for that, for individuals. So anybody that's coming in does take a COVID test, and they are isolated from the general population for a certain amount of time until that quarantine period ends, and then they transition to the normal population. So that keeps them safe, keeps the staff safe, and the rest of the population safe.
Yeah.
So we've been very lucky with that. It's been successful for the most part, and individuals coming in are grateful because they have true concerns for COVID, and we want to make sure they're safe, especially a population that can be susceptible to the virus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there anything, that's kind of the end of our questions here? Well, actually, I guess there was one regarding like mental health volunteers. Why don't we talk just a little bit about JBCT? I don't know if a lot of people know that we have that, and then just what sort of mental health opportunities are available.
We'll talk about our mental health clinicians first. We do have mental health clinicians on site here 5 days a week currently, and we're working on getting weekend staffing for that as well.
Okay.
And that is a true help for us, for the officers. I often say it that it's no longer the tools that we carry on our belts, it's how we communicate with these individuals.
Absolutely.
And the officers are oftentimes going above and beyond, working with mental illness and trying to get these individuals the help that they need and the resources. And mental health clinicians combat that with our officers, and it's really a great team working with us inside. So they base out of the processing area, but they go throughout the entire facility and are able to communicate with everybody in here and get them on the right path and right track before they re-enter into our community.
Right.
Our jail-based competency program we have is really great. It's strictly for individuals that are possibly going to the state hospital, so they get a mental health clinician right on site, and the jail deputy works up there with them, does not rotate, so they're familiar with that officer constantly. They build that rapport, that sense of relationship, and it's a really great environment. There is different furniture up there for the individuals. It's a much different environment to meet their mental health and their needs, to get them through that process and expedite that for them so they can get the care they need.
And we have a video about that JBCT unit if you go to our YouTube page, youtube.com/Humboldt Sheriff, and it's in one of our playlists, and you can see what it actually looks like. And
yeah, you can see what I mean when I say different furniture.
Yeah.
It's not your standard furniture that are in the other general population units and housing dorms, and it's meant to be a calmer atmosphere to help them be more successful.
Exactly. Well, we only have a few more minutes here, so I did want to I know you touched on a little bit specialty positions, and kind of JBCT brings us, that's a specialty position.
Yeah, different
Can you
hours.
go over that for me?
Yeah, so we've got quite a few. I don't know if I'll be able to touch on all of them, but we did talk about the SWAP, the Sheriff's Work Alternative Program, and again, these are all different schedules. Currently in the jail, we're on 12-hour shifts. These specialty positions, they're all modified. Some of them are during the week or weekends off, holidays off, 9-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts, 10-hour shifts. We have a transportation division, and that's exactly as it sounds. They get to travel all over, whether they're taking somebody somewhere or picking somebody up, doing other appointments. That's a really neat position if you like to travel and you don't get car sick.
Taking an inmate places, not just random people.
Yep, not just random people, inmates in custody.
Yeah.
Or you get to meet other agencies. That's always fun too, is building that relationship, building that partnership. I've got a lot of feedback on that people in the transport division, because you are traveling a lot, so you're building that relationship, and it's pretty neat down the road to get to call somebody and you have a question or dealing with something with your agency. That's relevant to that job. We've also got classification unit, which is a division that's in charge of all the housing in our facility. They interview the inmates and determine appropriate housing and deal with some other issues and stuff that go with that. That's another really neat one, really rewarding too. Challenging, but extremely rewarding. You get to build that rapport with the inmates too on such a different level, I feel like. We talked a little bit about the programs. We have a sergeant in charge of that right now, and that's another one that you get to see a positive side of a jail. The programs you bring in and the inmates completing successfully and leaving happy and getting to take their credentials with them. Yeah. That's another positive specialty position too that we offer.
And we have specialty teams too, like the gang task force. Is that within our facility?
We have the GRIT team, which I'm actually part of that, the Gang Resource Intelligence team. And that's multi-agency as well that we have, which is really beneficial to our area, and getting to work with other agencies is nice, and things that we talk about. And then we've got the recruitment team, which I'm on as well, that is really exciting for that. Really need that. We're really working on getting out there. You will see us at a few events here coming up shortly. We've got one scheduled for March at the logging conference, so that'll be great for career day.
The logging conference. Yeah, you're gonna throw some axes.
We might do axe throwing. I don't know. We'll see. And we've got some instructor positions. We've got a lot of instructors, a lot of really knowledgeable deputies that teach other deputies the tools that we need to perform our job duties. So that's great. That's great. Be able to do that in-house is important.
Awesome. Well, great. Well, we're just here up on time, so I guess we'll give one last push. Why should you apply? When should you apply by?
So if you want to be part of the March 4th event, you will need to apply by March 2nd.
Okay, so it's coming up.
Yeah, those options we talked about, getting signed up. If you cannot make it to that hiring event, no problem. You still will get your opportunity. We are still doing the testing every month. So if you don't make it to the March 4th event, I still strongly encourage you to apply, and we'll get you onto another test date. Again, it's just a really great family team atmosphere that we promote here, and it's more than the job. It's not like anywhere else. Really proud of what I do, and when you see that on another officer's face, that's when it really pays off and means a lot. This is a career, not a job, and we just are so supportive of each other here, and we want to see the fulfillment and everybody do it long term. So I encourage it. Anybody that is looking for that or wants a true positive impact on an individual's life in our community, I encourage you to apply.
Absolutely. And if you're interested in, becoming a patrol deputy further along the line, this is a really great place to get started. Of course, you cannot become a patrol deputy until you're 21. So we really encourage people to get at least 3 years of experience here in our correctional facility, because it is law enforcement. And you get to experience all of that. You establish rapport with the people that you might be contacting out on the street as well.
You're building those communication skills. I can't stress that enough, how important that is when you're speaking to these individuals. That's the difference between compliance and an incident, in my opinion, and building those tools, building those resources, and building the rapport with the corrections division only betters the situation.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for sitting down and talking with us today.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for everybody that joined us too.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. For more information, you can go to our website, humboldtsheriff.org. For more information about this hiring event right here, you can just visit if you're already on our Facebook, visit our Facebook page. We've got that on there. Also, humboldtsheriff.org/join will take you to all of our opportunities here in the Sheriff's Office. You can learn more about the recruitment process. And we're available for comments. So again, if we didn't answer your question today, feel free, you can keep dropping your questions in the comments. We'll go back and try to answer those as best as we can. We're gonna save this video as well here on Facebook. And if you're really truly interested, but you still have some questions, you can also contact Lieutenant Camilli.
Please do. My contact information's on the flyer and posted on social media. And don't be afraid to call with any question that you may have, and we'll have a conversation and see if we can get your start in law enforcement.
Absolutely. And do us a favor, give us a follow here on our page. When you follow us, you have to actively choose to follow us, is what I've learned. When you follow us, you get all of our updates, so you can get that right into your activity center there on social media. You can also subscribe to press releases with our agency online, humboldtsheriff.org/news, NEWS. You can subscribe to our press releases and stay up to date before it hits any news outlets.